When I opened my front door, my 9-year-old son was standing on the porch alone, his face wet, his jacket zipped wrong, holding a wrapped box against his chest with both hands. My mother's car was already around the corner. She hadn't waited to see if I was home. The last thing she told him before she drove away was, "Tell your mom not to make a scene." When I opened that box, I didn't make a scene. I called the police. I work as a child welfare case manager. Every day, I sit across from children who have learned to hide their fear because the adults they love taught them that showing it was dangerous. I know what a child looks like when they've been coached to deliver a message they don't fully understand. When I opened my front door that morning and saw my son Mason standing there, I recognized it immediately, and I felt sick. My mother, Patricia, was exactly the kind of woman who understood how to appear generous while keeping score. She ran an event planning business in Phoenix, charity luncheons, church galas, and people in our community thought she was gracious. My stepfather, Gerald, was a local attorney who never raised his voice in public because he had learned that quiet authority is more dangerous than a shout. I grew up understanding that love in our house was conditional, that peace meant agreement. When I got the job offer in Portland, Director of Family Services, a promotion I had worked toward for 4 years, I knew what was coming before I made the call. Patricia said, "Oregon is very far, Claire." Gerald said, "Mason needs stability, and stability is not a U-Haul." I told them we had made the decision. That conversation ended things that had been fragile for years. For a week, my mother went quiet. Then the campaign started, the soft one, wrapped in old photographs and voice messages that trembled in exactly the right places. She asked for one farewell brunch. My instinct said no. But Mason was 9, and he had made a card for his grandmother, drawn our whole family on the front, and he asked me quietly if she would remember them. I said yes. I agreed to the brunch. I sent Patricia a list of rules. 90 minutes. She would bring Mason back to our front door. He keeps his phone. No talking about the move, custody, or whether Mason wanted to stay. No criticizing me or his father. No secrets. She replied immediately, "Of course, sweetheart. Whatever makes you comfortable." Gerald texted, "We just want to say goodbye properly." My best friend Dana said, "I hate how easy they're making this sound." I did too. Patricia arrived at exactly 9. Pearl earrings, company smile. At 10:15, she sent one photo of Mason at their table. His smile looked stiff. At 10:40, I called Mason. Voicemail. 3 minutes later, I was reaching for my keys when the knock came. Small, fast, frightened. Mason didn't step inside when I opened the door. His jacket was zipped wrong, one shoe untied. His face was wet. He was holding a wrapped box against his chest with both hands. My mother's car was already gone. She had not walked him to the door. She had not waited. She had left a 9-year-old on a porch curb and driven away. I pulled him inside and knelt in front of him. I asked if anyone had hurt him. No. If anyone had touched him. No. He whispered, "Grandma said you would be upset." I told him there was nothing he could tell me that would make me upset with him. His eyes moved to the box. He said, "I think there's something wrong inside it." I texted Dana with one hand, "Come now." I told Mason to sit with his headphones and put on his nature show. Before I untied the ribbon, I took photographs. The box, the knot, Mason's small fingerprints pressed into the paper from gripping it so tightly. People who use fear as a tool count on panic to erase the evidence. I was not going to panic. The first thing I saw when I opened the box was Mason's card, the one he'd brought as a gift. Someone had torn it in half. His crayon drawing of our family ripped cleanly down the middle. Under it was a notebook I recognized. Mason had left it at Patricia's house 2 months ago. Several pages had been filled in handwriting that tried to look like a child's but wasn't. Sentences like, "Mom gets angry when I talk about Grandma. I feel scared at home." Dates written beside them like a record. Under the notebook were 3 photographs. Mason outside his school gate. Mason at piano. Mason in my car in a parking lot. None of those photos were taken by me. At the bottom of the box was a USB drive labeled, "For the Court," and a letter in Patricia's handwriting. "If you proceed with this move, we will be forced to involve the appropriate authorities. Think carefully before you make a choice you cannot take back." I called 911. 2 officers arrived within 12 minutes. When Officer Reyes saw the surveillance photographs, she asked immediately whether Patricia or Gerald had permission to be near Mason's school or activities. I said no. Officer Tran sat on the floor beside Mason and asked gentle questions. Mason told them about the torn card, the photographs Patricia had shown him at the table, the car ride home. When he repeated her last words, "Tell your mom not to make a scene," Officer Reyes wrote it down slowly. My ex-husband David arrived and went to Mason before he asked me a single question. After Mason was with Dana, David told us Gerald had come to his office 3 days earlier, had waited outside, had mentioned calmly that men with difficult histories should be careful when a judge looked at things. David had a DUI from 11 years ago, long before Mason, long before everything. Gerald had found it, and he had used it. 20 minutes later, there were 3 hard knocks at my door. Patricia, with Gerald behind her. Officer Reyes stepped outside first. Gerald said it was a family matter. Patricia called my name, said Mason was sensitive, that I had taught him to be afraid of them. I stepped into the doorway and said, "You left him crying at the curb with a box full of threats." She said, "And I will never forget this. We only frightened him because you would not listen." Officer Reyes wrote it down. The USB was reviewed through proper channels. Audio clips from Mason's visits, edited to make me sound unstable and David sound unfit. A folder labeled "Custody Concerns." Gerald had been building a case, not because Mason was unsafe, but because he needed a costume for control before he could walk it into a courtroom. The plan failed because they moved too fast. The protective order was granted within a week. We moved to Portland 6 weeks later. Mason jumped at doorbells for a while. He stopped drawing for a few weeks. He asked once if telling the truth had broken our family. I held his face and told him the same thing every time. "You did not break anything. You told the truth. Adults are responsible for adult choices." He started drawing again on a Tuesday in November, sitting at the kitchen table with winter rain on the windows.